Hello, I'm going to present today a new integration that we have working with coreBOS. It's with the WordPress WooCommerce extension. So basically, WooCommerce is an online shop, and you can have has orders, customers, products, and that's about all that we support. It has some coupons and savings, and has a bunch of other features. But basically, we have a synchronization, whereas the customers will be synchronized. Information from the customers will be synchronized with coreBOS accounts or contacts. Products will be synchronized with products and services, and orders will be synchronized with sales orders or invoices, depending on what you want. So basically, what I'm going to do is present here a quick overview of the steps that an implementer has to follow to get it working, and see some of the clockwork that's going on in the background, so that if any developer needs to debug it or just to find out what's going on, have a little bit of knowledge of where to start looking. So let me see. I'm going to start by going to my coreBOS. Here I have a bunch of tabs. One is my database, which we will be looking at basically at message queue, because this all works sending messages using the coreBOS message queue. Basically, when an event happens in coreBOS, we put a message on the queue, and then that message is read and synchronized to WooCommerce, and the reverse. WooCommerce notifies us of a change that happens in the shop. That's converted into a message on the queue, which is later processed and updated in coreBOS. So everything goes around in the background, so we don't have latencies when on the save events and all that stuff. Okay, so I have my database, so we can actually see the messages going around. I'm going to delete this one. This is probably from a previous test. I have a WordPress installed here locally, which we're looking at the admin backend. I have the WooCommerce here with the orders, the customers, and the stuff, and the products, which are here. I have already some tests that I've done. This is the WordPress site. It's just the basic site. I mean, no styling at all. I have the cart here, the shop with the products, which I have some products synchronized already here, and my checkout with the orders. Then I have my coreBOS, which synchronized with that one, and this is where we're going to start. We're going to start here by going to the utilities module, utilities extension really, where we will find, among all of the other integrations we have, a WooCommerce activation synchronization configuration page. As you can see, the integration can be active or not. That will basically trigger the whole functionality. I mean, basically you just have to put this on. Then we have a consumer secret, a consumer key, the URL of the WordPress site, which as you can see here is the URL of my site up here. Then we have a notification secret, and the modules that we want to synchronize, that we want to map actually the fields from one application to the other. As I was saying, WooCommerce has customers, orders, and products. So basically we have in coreBOS, where do you want to map the customer, to a contact or to an account. Okay, I'm mapping it to a contact because I suppose, and that's the default value actually, because I suppose most websites will be a B2C, not actually a B2B. But anyway, if you want accounts, it's basically that easy. Products and services, depending on what you're selling on the website, and sales orders or invoices, depending on where you want to I mean, if it's a real a definite sale, or if it needs some follow-up in the background or some management, then you can put it on a sales order and then create the invoices as needed. Okay, so basically those are the important steps. Let's see where we can get the consumer secret and the consumer key. Okay, that happens here in settings. In settings and advanced REST API. Okay, here you have to create add key. Press the add key button, and you will create the consumer keys and the consumer secret. Here I already had one, which I named learning, and as you can see here, it gives me the user that I'm going to be using in WordPress once it connects with that key. What does this user permissions does this user have? And it gives me the consumer key and the consumer secret, which I can't see anymore. Okay, so basically let's try to add a new one, and I suppose okay, I actually have to add it and it will show them to me. Let's go for it. Video, and this one can only read. Okay, so it gives you the consumer key and it gives you the secret. You copy these and you put them into your utilities here, so that actually the calls from here can be authorized into the WooCommerce site. Okay, the other one is the notifications. Okay, this one is the consumer secret and key are from to send information from coreBOS to WooCommerce, and the notifications secret is the reverse. When WordPress notifies coreBOS that that something has happened, we kind of we have to validate that actually it's the right WordPress that's sending us things, or not just anybody falsely intent and trying to access our API. That happens also in settings, here in also in advanced and notifications, webhooks. Okay, this webhooks here, I think I can click here. Yeah, okay, this webhooks here. As you can see, I already have a bunch of them made. Let's add a new one. Okay, basically you give it a name. I think, wait, let's go back a second. And I have here order deleted, order updated, order created, customer updated, customer created, customer deleted is not here. Okay, I have basically notify me when an order is deleted, when an order is updated, when it's created, when a customer is created and updated, when a product is restored, when a product is deleted, when a product is updated. When a product is created, it's not here. Customer, order, customer, product, restore, product, del, product, create is not here. Okay, let's do that one. And I should probably do customer delete also. Anyway, let's do the product create. Okay, they're all basically the same. In fact, I'm going to enter one of these, and I'm going to copy the notify URL so that I can just copy paste it. Okay, let's add a new one. We're going to add a new one, a new notification, which is product created. This notification is active. The topic is when a product is created. Note that these are the notifications that WordPress will inform our coreBOS about. Okay, so basically what we're configuring here is that you're telling WordPress that when this happens, you want a message to be sent to coreBOS so that coreBOS can update the product. So if somebody changed the description of the product in WordPress, you want that same description updated in your coreBOS. Okay, so basically in this case what I'm saying is that product create. When a product is created in WordPress, notify this URL, and the secret is in this case hello. You can type in any key. It should be a long and kind of stronger one than this one. This one is kind of easy to guess, so it's not very useful. But anyway, I mean this should be a strong password. And we're working with version 3. Note that the URL, which is actually the important part, is where the notification, where the message has to be sent. Okay, in this case I have a local host. I have an install here which is called CBD norm. This is where my coreBOS, the coreBOS that I set up for testing is. This screen that we're watching here, as you can see up here, it's localhost CBD norm. Okay, so then we have the notifications endpoint, which is a coreBOS standard notifications entry point, and we have the type, which we need to get the right notification mapping and code. This integration is called WC, WooCommerce integration. So the type would be WC integration. This is always the same URL or the same endpoint and type for all of the webhooks. There, in fact, it's the same URL and the same secret for all of them, because we only have one secret there. Okay, I save that, and that means that now every time I create a product in WooCommerce, I will get a notification in coreBOS, and thanks to these consumers and these secrets, every time I get a modification in a contact, a product, or a sales order, that will be sent to WooCommerce. Basically, that's all an implementer has to do. If you do that, yeah, everything should just work. Let's try creating a product. Since we did this product create, let's try that one. Okay, I'm going to come over here to the products tab, and we're going to add a new one, which I'm going to call video download, and we're going to put a description here of the video. And what else? Short description. I don't know if we're mapping this one, but I'll show you how to do that if you need to. General, regular price, I'm going to put 100, and sales price, whatever, sales price 110. Please enter a value less than, okay, that's a sale, so it has to be less. Okay. Taxable, yes, and standard tax, yes, please. Okay. Then we have inventories and shipping and SKUs, stocks. I mean, all of these things, most of them can be mapped and can be used in your coreBOS. Maybe not all of them, because WooCommerce has not a flat way of sending information, so that kind of complicates everything. coreBOS has a flat array of fields. When you have a sales order or a contact or something, basically it's just field and value all the time. When you have an array as a field, things get complicated, which is what happens on the sales order and the invoice, where you have the product information array, line items, basically. Well, WooCommerce has that all over the place. Even on the products has a whole bunch of arrays, so it's kind of hard to even do the mapping. And most of these attributes and advanced things are there. If you need that kind of stuff, I mean, we can try. This is the first version of the WooCommerce integration, and I just have the basics working. But I don't think it would be complicated to do to access the arrays at all. It would be actually a nice enhancement in coreBOS mapping. Obviously, all of the mapping is done with a business map in coreBOS. For those of you comfortable with coreBOS, you probably saw that coming. Okay, so I have the products. I'm just doing the basics, the description, this, and I'm gonna save, draft, save, no, publish. Okay, publish. Okay, that means that probably on my site I should be able to have now this video download thing. And in coreBOS, WordPress takes a little bit of time. Okay, very nice. It takes it some time to actually send the messages, but here we have them. And as you can see, it says that the product has been created and the product has been updated. I guess that it did two saves there somehow. So now we have to get this process. We have to process this these messages. That happens. Let me move this over here. That happens in the message queue, and I'm going to do a direct run. The message queue is documented on the wiki. It's basically a never-ending run process, PHP process that's running all the time, and it's reading the messages and moving them around. That has to be launched in your server, and I mean, that works pretty well. It has the defaults, the defects that PHP has in the long-running processes, but in general it works correctly. And we're working on a Roadrunner extension based on Go that will make this even a little bit more stable or longer running. Anyway, direct run is just, okay, launch, read the messages and move them around right now. Okay, so basically that is actually should have read these two messages and done what it had to do. So that means that okay, this is clear, that if I go to the products module, I should see now. Okay. Okay. What happened here? Okay, products. If we go to the products module, I should have this video download record, video download, price 100, the short description I mapped to product sheet. I'll show you that now, and the description is here as description of the video. Okay, as you can see also we have a new block of fields which kind of tell us what is happening with the synchronization of this product, of each record with WordPress site. This block is on all of the 6 modules: product, services, accounts, contacts, invoice, and sales orders. And basically it tells us if we want to activate or inactivate this sync of this record, the code that this record has in WordPress, a link which I can click on and open a new tab to actually go directly to the record. Okay, so it makes it kind of easy to see that. If it was created from WordPress or not. Okay, so that did not work. Okay, and if it's deleted there or not, because when we delete a record in WordPress, it doesn't actually delete the record in coreBOS. It just marks it as deleted there. Okay, so okay, hold on. Let me jot down that thing that the created didn't update. WC created. Yes. Okay, I'll get around to that one. Okay, so as you can see, basically it was actually that easy. Just create the product here, and it gets created here. I mean, there's not much more to it. Let's buy one of these. I'm going to add it to the cart, and I'm going to view my cart. Here I have my cart with the video download. I'm going to buy one of these at 90. I have a coupon, and I can proceed to checkout. And I have here a bunch of data. I'm going to put my video test, anything else, all the rest is fine. Delivery, additional, place order. Okay, we place the order, and hopefully that has created a new customer for us here. No? Order received. Because maybe it's based on the site, on the address. Let's look at the order. The order is video test, and it is assigned to who? WordPress is not my email address. Okay, maybe because I'm logged in or something. Okay, so it actually assigned it to the same user that I already had. It created it. The first test I made, it actually created a contact for me here, which should be this last one here. Okay, and now it's very possible that it actually updates this. See, it's active. It's with the first customer. Okay, I did basically the same thing I just did with the product, but no, actually I didn't. I created directly the order. The order was sent and should be here again. Let's look at this, the message queue. Okay, the messages are already here. As you can see, I have the customer updated, customer order created, order updated, and customer updated again. Okay, these are all the messages that WooCommerce just sent us. The first time I did the test, I didn't have the user. I filled in my data, and it created the user for me, the contact in coreBOS. It also created a product because I didn't have the product in coreBOS. So what I'm saying is that you can actually just create the orders, and they will be created. The products and the customers will all be created for you directly. If you don't have the hooks for the customer created, and it should work also. But anyway, it's easier and better to have all of them synchronized actually. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did before and process these. Let's go over here to the sales order module, which is where I'm expecting to see that products come in. I have 109, and now I'm gonna launch the direct run again. Oops, okay, that's not nice, but it could come in handy. Yeah, okay, it processed because probably all of these are notices. I must have put something wrong somewhere. Okay, and let's see what happens here. Last time I did that, I didn't get that, but that's the idea, to test all of this anyway. 110, so I have a new sales order, which is sales order number 24, which should match the number 24 here that I have here, and basically it's related to the same contact, same address, this WooCommerce information block where I can go directly to it, video download, the product 90, and the VAT, which has to be configured. I didn't configure that, but actually it has to be configured. The same VAT has to be configured in coreBOS and in WooCommerce, okay? Because the web service doesn't support taxes yet, so we have to have that matched. Okay, but as you can see, it's basically that easy. I mean, there's not much more to it actually. It's just okay. Okay, so basically it's that easy. You can just synchronize your WooCommerce site with your coreBOS and get all of your customers, products, and orders into coreBOS, so you can do okay, I forgot to talk about the map. Actually, by default, I think I only tested one map. By default, it just works. I have here, okay, but I created two to test them, which is products to WooCommerce and WooCommerce to products. Okay, so basically the names say it all. When a product is modified in coreBOS, basically what we do is get all of the fields. We set up the information to be sent to WooCommerce with the mandatory fields that they need, and most of the default logical settings that you want. For example, we set up the unit price in the unit price in WordPress. We do the stock from coreBOS to WordPress, and we set up all of those things. But if you want to add more fields, more definitions, or you have some custom fields that you want to send over to WordPress or whatever, then once we finish setting all of the default values, we pass through those pass that array through this map, so you can finish adding or even modifying some of the values that we set by default. In this case, the map says that I'm setting the stock quantity to the reverse. I'm setting the stock in coreBOS to the stock quantity in WordPress, and that kind of brings me to the fact, do I actually properties from let me have a look here just real quick to make sure. I think this is from, and I'm looking for to. Okay, so we just do the regular price, not even the stock. Okay, so the stock is not set by default, so this map actually is mandatory if you want to get the stock into WordPress. Okay, the other fields we do some of them by default. As you can see here, I'm doing the name, product name, the unit price and the regular price, and the images, which should go also. Anyway, so basically that's the map, and the other map is the reverse. When WooCommerce sends us a product update or product to be created, we do the same thing. We get the default fields from the information they sent us, we set up the array, and then we pass it through the map, so you can just finish up adding and mapping anything you want. As you can see here, I'm setting the slug, which is the short description, onto the product sheet, and I'm putting the description into the description field, which is why we had them filled in on the product when we created it. I'm going to do some documentation on the wiki and a blog post with this video, so that we can get kind of the basic information of the configuration and everything working, or documented at least, so that we can remember 2 months from now. And from now on, it's just a question of testing it and see if if it needs any modifications or something like that, whatever enhancements. I'm thinking now that one of the things that is not implemented is sending sales order and invoices to WordPress. Okay, so products, services, customers, accounts, and contacts are two-way sync. So anything that's modified in one or the other should get synchronized back to the other. They should always be in sync. But orders always come from WordPress to coreBOS. We don't send orders created in coreBOS to WordPress. Okay, so that could be an enhancement that we could have in the future if it makes sense or it's actually needed. Let me know if you have any issues, and we'll keep on making coreBOS an integration platform among other things. Thanks for watching.